straight off the top tonight, we're hearing from the mother of a federal prisoner who was released by mistake, only to be arrested again. And that's after he'd already escaped before, after cutting off his tether. Tonight, he is back in custody. 24-Hour News 8's Tom Hillen spoke with his mother, who wants to know how this could have happened, Tom.
Well, Marley, 25-year-old Anthony Sprague was rearrested here today at the federal building in downtown Grand Rapids. He came here because when he was being released, he was told he needed to be assigned to a parole officer. Anthony Sprague Jr. was in federal custody for being a felon in possession of a firearm. In May, he was strapped with a tether and released under home confinement in Grand Rapids. A few days later, he cut off his tether, but the feds soon caught up with him and he was taken to the Newaygo County Jail. Yesterday, Sprague was supposed to be put in U.S. Marshal custody, but stay in Newaygo County until an October sentencing for cutting off the tether. But for some reason, he was released. His mom said she was shocked when her son showed up. And what did he tell you?
They released me. And I'm like, you're kidding me. How can you be released? You have a court date. You're a federal escapee. All the trouble that the feds went to look and find you. And I just can't believe they would release you. Sure, it ain't a mistake. And he goes like, they checked twice and said you're released.
When he was released, Sprague was told he had 72 hours to get to the federal building in Grand Rapids to be assigned a parole officer. So that's what he and his mom did.
They said, we have no idea that you were coming, and we're going to have to figure it out.
So they sat and waited.
Finally, a couple marshals came through the door and told him, Mr. Sprague, stand up and put your hands behind your back. And that's when I says, why is he being arrested? And he says, because he's a federal escapee. I said, but they released him. He said, yeah, well, somebody made a mistake. And I said, do they do this all the time? And he said, it's uncommon. I said, this is a real cruel joke.
Marshals say they are working to figure out whether they didn't notify Newaygo County that Sprague was to remain in jail, or if it was Newaygo County that made the mistake.
They should definitely do a better check of who they're releasing and what their charges were, because it could have been a lot more dangerous than, you know, him. It could have been somebody else they released, and then the public would be in danger and nobody would know about it.
Marshals tell us that this could have been a significant incident, but fortunately it only turned out to be a minor one. They also say this type of thing is extremely rare, Marley.
Wow, Tom, now you were saying that he could actually be charged with escape again, even though this was not his fault?
Yeah, Marshall said that is a possibility. However, because he came here today and they were able to rearrest him, they don't believe charges will be filed. But again, it is in the realm of possibilities, Marlene.
What a story. Frustrating all around, Tom. Thank you for that live report.